Hello, 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 and welcome to Survivor Debrief. My name's Eden Porter, the unlucky loser from Survivor Titans vs. Rebels. And with me, as always, is my comedic partner and real-life brother, King Josh Porter.
The king of the pod.
King of the pod.
King of the pod. That's what I
right.
can take that crowd.
That's
I love
right.
it. Also, at the very end of the episode, we have, hey, we've got another king here. And Jonathan was like, yeah, God damn it, too many kings.
Too many kings. Too many kings. And honestly, I feel that Luke is actually genuinely annoyed that George became King George because he was king of the jungle. And he's
like
that actually does annoy him.
I feel that has come up a few times. I definitely think he's annoyed.
And do you know what else is funny? I wondered last week why they showed Luke's confessional to George. They made a point of showing Luke say, there can only be one king of the jungle, George.
Oh, yeah.
And then you voted, and I was like, but George didn't go home. That's sort of weird to play that. And now I understand because this week he voted for Janine.
Yes.
And so he couldn't do a George. He couldn't do a real George.
For Shani.
Sorry, for Shani. And he couldn't really do a full-on George.
That's true.
Line.
He missed his moment.
He sort of said, oh, yeah, George, yeah, get out of this one. But he didn't have that great line, so that's why they showed it the week before.
That's a shame.
I know, such a shame. Such a shame. So we start things off on the Aussie tribe. Not much blowback. I thought there would be a bit more, but George is just annoyed with everyone, and everyone's like...
I think the returnees, like, you're probably less likely to have those big blowouts, right? Because everyone's really concerned and like, cool, we got to move on. This is the new status quo. Let's keep going. But the big one though was Sarah's regret. I think
Sarah's regret.
That's been played up a lot.
Obviously, George had a go at Luke, saying like, "Oh, you're on my hit list," but that's fine. Everyone's on George's hit list. Yeah. But yeah, Sarah, literally, and I do feel like confirmed that Sarah was completely blindsided at Tribal Council, and that Kirby purposely was like, I know Sarah's wavering. I'll just say whatever she wants to hear for now, and then at Tribal Council, I'll tell her to change, and she'll change. And
do
that's
you think
exactly
that was considered by Kirby of like,
it was.
I'll just throw this in late? Yeah,
it was 100% like, I want David to go home, and this is the way to stop Sarah sort of panicking, and then get her to do what I want. And it's interesting because Sarah wants this relationship so hard that she's making up these crazy narratives in her head to become reality. Like, I think Kirby was testing me to prove my loyalty to, and I was like, no, Sarah. She just wanted David out. And she didn't want you running around trying to change those plans. And so she kept you on ice with what you wanted to hear, and then she did it. And I'm just feeling bad for Sarah because she's so... And this is interesting. I had a conversation with Karen yesterday about this exact thing. When people come back trying to right wrongs of their old game, when they go, you know what, last time I was a flip-flopper, I was a snake, I was a sick, so this time I'm going to be all honourable. And the amount of times that never works, when you try and not be you and you try and play a totally different game, it sort of starts impacting you. And I can feel like she's not playing naturally, Sarah. She's not just playing with her heart. So
you're talking about rather than recalibrating and slightly realigning, they're going too far the other way. It's like, well, that way didn't work. So pulling a George Costanza and be, what if I do the opposite of every survivor instinct I have?
If everything you do is wrong, then the opposite must be right. So that's such a perfect analogy.
I think, you're probably better to, because obviously you got to a particular point, if you're going to identify those weak spots in your game, just tighten those up rather than necessarily throwing the whole game away, I guess.
Yeah, because she has put herself in a really bad position now. She's almost put everything in with Kirby, and she's like, okay, well, this is my connection. When David said last week, he goes, loyalty, mate, be loyal to me. We're mates. That's your loyalty.
I can completely see where Sarah's coming from, and that it seemed like that was the choice, right? Do I want to essentially align with David or align with Kirby? And if I don't align with David, I'm burning Kirby, and she's still in the game.
Yes.
So I think, whereas this choice is
that's
like,
scary.
Well, if I'm not aligning with David, then he's gone. But if I choose to align with David, and so I can see it.
The fear of crossing someone that is not going home is huge. You want to cross the person that's going home, and then you're like, cool, that's fine.
Well, we heard that a lot from Luke, very clearly being like, I've completely burnt George. Like, just a flat out understanding of like, I can't work with him. I've completely burnt that bridge at that tribal council, and he knew that. Like, he was just very, very emphatic about that.
Yeah, but interesting with George is I do feel like he is the type of player that if there is a scenario that can get people back on the same page, he will follow it up. He will go, you know what? Yeah, let's do this. One thing that hasn't come up is Kirby and Luke do know each other pre-game, before when they used to work and stuff like that. And that's never come up. That has not come up at all in terms of the story of the season.
Maybe they don't know each other, Eden. Maybe you've got bad intel.
Maybe they bloody well do, mate. And it's not part of the narrative at this point. So that's interesting. But I think the last thing just on Sarah, she doesn't realize that when Kirby wants something, she's going to get it. When Kirby wants someone out, they're going to go out. If you don't go with her, she'll find another way to do it. And she's not really going to be switching you on. That's not how Kirby sort of plays.
Yeah.
She's a very like, this is what I need to happen, so let's make it happen. If you're not going to come with this on this journey, then something's up. And the other thing is, the thing that's good about Sarah is she reads the Kirby-Shani relationship quite well, because they're trying to keep that on the lowdown. And she's honestly feeling that Shani is starting to get in with Kirby, and this is becoming a thing, and there's more at stake here. And then it's funny because now she's feeling like I'm being replaced. But the more paranoid you get, the more worried you get, the more that becomes a reality. It's almost a self-fulfilling prophecy, because the more you worry about it, the more Kirby's like, man, Sarah's getting sort of crazy. So it's a really
interesting. I found some parallels to. I remember. I think it was with the Coven. I think it was the Coven of within your alliance, people getting their way. And it seems at the moment it's very much Kirby getting her way. And so Sarah's trying to go, hang on, I want to get something for me here. What can I get? And I have a question for Eden is, how do you balance that as an individual in an alliance to go along with what your alliance members want versus getting what you want? Yeah,
so I think there is the old thing of one for you, one for me. So you do one and then you go, okay, we did that one. Now let's try and redress this balance. And if you're in a relationship, if you're in a good alliance, you should be able to have those open conversations. Yeah. If you are not having your voice heard, you are the bottom of the pecking order. And I think it's become very clear that Sarah's voice is not being heard.
Yeah.
And at that point,
she sees it. She understands it.
Yeah. When you're in that group, and this is what happens, like it happened with me on my seniors as well. And it's one of the reasons why I went back to the Titans to try and build something else, because if I was just with Ferris and Ray and those guys, it's very much Ferris's, okay, this is what we're doing, this is what you're doing. You don't really have any sway. And so then you change your game. You go, you know what, I'm going to find a new group of people that I've got a bit of a conversation with, that I can actually build something with, and that will listen to me. And you know it's in a good alliance when you can both have the same concept of like what's both going to benefit your game. When you've got different outcomes in mind, like it's obvious Sarah's like, man, I really wanted to sort of keep David.
Yeah.
Okay, I won't do that. And then Kirby's got to be thinking, well, why did she want David so bad? Like that's a warning sign in itself.
Well, so Kirby says that a lot. She's like, not good for my game. You know, she was saying that with George and stuff earlier. Like, people understand there's an individual element to it. It's just, as you're saying, like, hopefully those things align, and hopefully, you know, hopefully they don't at some other times.
Yeah, exactly. And so now let's jump to the world. So I actually it's not looking good for Tone.
I'm feeling very nervous for Tony.
I want more Tony on my screen, because I love Tony. And I wish they were more.
Tony's not long for this world.
Yeah, I wish they were more on like, let's do this with Tone, but it's not. They feel, and they've put it out there, and Tony's picked up on it, and he's feeling like, okay, I've got to do something. And God, I wish he would have found that key, man.
I know.
It just would have made it like, I'm like, Pav getting it is great. Like, Pav's awesome, and I really like her, but Tony would have thrown like his
Tony
bag
would
of
have
tricks.
done some crazy stuff.
It would have been because
the disappointing thing is, like, Tony's obviously aware of what's going on with the women in the tribe.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, let's keep the box out in the open, so it can benefit all of us. And Cerie's like, what do you mean us? And so he's like, God damn it. So it's like, it's very clear.
It's very clear.
Yeah, because us, clearly, when Cerie says, well, there's no us, but then straight away, like, the four women are like, yeah, sweet, awesome.
And honestly, that key hunt was great. The camera work, you've got to pick up on your camera work out there. You have to pick up on it. And I felt like the amount of times they walked past it, and Pav was literally on it, the key, and it sort of panned. It like they did a circle. They did that Matrix style 360 degree around it.
You know, it'd be great if you're really paying attention to the camera lens and you're watching the focus pull from like close to far. You're like, dude, it's nearer.
If you can start clicking. Okay, advice to next season. Yeah. What you want to do is find a YouTube clip of the noise of a focus pull happening on a camera, and then just pick up on that. That's a good kit. That's it. You heard it here first. That was amazing, that idol hunt, and then the key hunt, and then the heart-stopping moment when the lock's not working.
That was so great. That was lock's it.
Awesome. And then I love Cerie at the end of it. She's just sitting back there. She goes, I'm too old for this shit. I was like, yes, Lethal Weapon. Shout out, Suri.
I just like, it was really one of those classic things of how calm can you play it and not draw attention to it.
Yes.
And like, it was, oh man, just sweating bullets. And Tony had no idea, just sitting there next to them.
Tony was loving it. And then, okay, one of the funniest conversations was then Suri talking to Lisa. We found the idol. Oh,
that was so
we found
weird.
the key. Oh, we see we need to. That's exciting.
So
we
weird.
Need you to go take Tony away. Cool.
Yeah, great. I'll do that. No worries.
So funny. Lisa is just the fan of this. It's so funny. It was
a
funny.
very strange conversation.
I'm loving her edit. Her edit is wild.
Yeah, it's great energy.
It's so good energy. Yeah. And then we've got Cass. And again, I'm loving that. Cass hasn't had a lot, but I'm getting on board the Cass train. I feel like
she's pretty switched on, yeah.
She seems super switched on. She took a ride-or-die to the end. She just missed out. So she's obviously got the goods. And I think she's the new Natalie Bolton from the original Black Widow. I think she fits into this group really well. And the fact that she found her own idol. By the way, weird spot for an idol. Like,
yeah, just
wasn't
like
in a log
on the rocks, but not just like up next to it.
Just sort of on the ground and like, the butterflies are up there. That was a bit weird. But the fact that she's got a secret idol now is really interesting.
It'll be interesting to see because they have that shared clue that it's on the podium at Tribal Council.
Mate, it's the Adam idol. The Adam idol is real. So in Winners at War, have you heard about this?
No.
So Adam from Millennials versus Gen X. So in Survivor South Africa, there was an idol on the podium at Tribal Council and went and got it. So in Winners at War, Adam saw a little symbol on Jeff's podium and was like, Jeff, can I ask a question? He's like, yeah. And he goes, because he was going home and he's like, is that an idol on the front of your podium? And he's like, Jeff's like, I don't know. Is it? And he goes, I'm saying, is it an idol? And he goes, what are you saying, Adam? And he goes, okay, can I he goes, do you want to play the podium as an idol? And Adam's like, yes. And he goes, it's not an idol. And it was this weird thing. But then there's a great moment at the end when he's like, I gotta try. And he goes, and Jeff's like, you have to try. Of course you do. And now it's real. They've put it in there again. So this is going to be really funny.
I was trying to think it through. How do you think that'll play out? But surely you'll get to a point where you just go, I'm just going to go and get it, and then everyone knows I have an idol.
That's the thing. That's exactly it.
Yeah. So it's like, it can't be hidden. I don't think you're going to surreptitiously get it like we've seen ones, during a challenge or around camp.
That's the sneaky challenge one.
They're cool. But like, this is like, you're just showing people you've got an
so
idol.
the ultimate thing with this is the person who's going home finds it. They're at Tribal Council. It's all going all to hell, and you go, something's happening here, rah, rah, and then you just get up,
grab it now.
You walk out, you grab it, and you go, I'm using this on myself. And everyone's
that'd
like,
be sick.
Ah!
But now so many people know. Too many people know.
Too many people know. The cat's out of the bag.
That would have been incredible solo information to have. That would have been amazing.
Oh, dude, so good. But then the thing is, it could literally come down to someone gets up and starts walking to it, then someone else runs for it, and it's just who gets there first.
Yeah. So it'd be fascinating if it's just one person knew.
Yeah. So then onto the challenge. Anything else you wanted to add before we get to
just a little thing. It seemed like we saw from both Kirby and Parvati, both of them going like, I'm sitting pretty. Like we had that established pretty clearly on either side. Kirby's sitting pretty, Parvati's feeling pretty happy as well. I
see down the line and I'm looking at those two. I'm like, those two are definitely going to work together. I think Kirby will really like Parv. I think she will really like her. And it's interesting, the hierarchy of relationships, whereas I feel like Sarah is trying to impress Kirby and like, hey Kirby, like let's be loyal, let's do this. I think that's going to be the same thing with Kirby and Parv. I think Kirby is going to be like, oh my god, this Parv, because Parv knows how to play people, and I think she's going to lean into a lot of that stuff that Kirby really enjoys. And just the way they look at each other, I'm like, oh, this is going to be good. So then we're on to the challenge, bag holding.
Yeah, at least we saw both trying to win this challenge, which is good.
Yeah. So so Parvati did the one that they did. The holding up is they don't have a weight; it's just your hand in the air. Yeah.
Okay.
Whereas this, you have a weight, which makes it a bit more interesting.
Yeah, I think so. I thought this is cool. I like this. I love a transfer of weight challenge. I like that someone drops out. You got to.
I've always said that about you, Josh. I've always said that about you. You love transferring weights.
I do, because you had that great barrel one in yours. I thought, there's just something exciting about how far did, and because people feel really individual about, like, I've got to pull my weight here quite literally because I can't let my tribe down. You saw that with Lisa big time, right?
Oh.
Like really pushing herself. But I find it funny though, that always happens with this when the people who are like the least capable get the biggest kudos for doing well.
Yeah,
and it's kind of the opposite of like, what about Tony was like doing pretty good, Kat? Like all these other people that Parvati did really well, but everyone's like, yes, Lisa, you nailed it. So I find that really interesting.
The other thing that was really funny was Tony was saying to Sari, like, hey, don't take your hand off. Like, this is tricky. She's like, don't worry, man. It's fine.
Yeah, it's
And
great.
then she did exactly that. She just did the old transfer. It's like,
I also love Jonathan's like explaining of that is so perfectly Jeff Probst-esque of like, just like, your hand came off the thing, you're out. Like, it's like one of those
It's almost
moments.
disappointed. It's like,
And you know what else there is? There's a bit of a duck and a look and get a bit of an angle on it.
It's that. It's exactly that. And there was a season where Jeff literally came in on the side and slipped over, and they quickly cut away.
It's like when he's checking a puzzle solution or something. He's always coming on the
so
side.
good, so good. But epic challenge. I really loved it. The fact that Suri went out early and the world had the extra bag for so long. Yeah, man, that's brutal. Because usually when you get behind,
I did like all the crosstalk as well. Of like clearly people like, come on, just give in. I thought that was quite good fun.
Now, what I didn't love from George was this openly, like, I don't quite know the tactic behind just trying to put so much stuff out there into the world. Like, I know, is it just building relationships with the world to try and be like, hey man, I'm with you guys?
I was confused as well because also like, was he later on going to be like, oh no, that wasn't real information, I was making stuff up or something, or because everyone's always, keep your cards close to your chest, you don't want to know where those cracks are and that kind of thing. So I found it very strange. Yeah, I didn't quite understand what his play was there. I think maybe he thought it was just sort of playful banter, but surely it must have been more calculated than that.
There must be it's George. There must have been something there.
Yeah.
And so obviously Sarah accidentally just
lost the concentration.
And then so the world is safe, and now the world is safe again, Joshua.
The world is safe once again.
And it is Australia going back to travel council. Yes. And so this starts a bit of a scramble. Now, this scramble didn't feel as heart-stoppingly intense as the last week's David one. Do you feel?
No. It was interesting, the dynamics of it all going on. But the big takeaway I feel overall, it just feels like George and Shonny are just sort of off in a corner. And no one's really engaging with them that strongly. That's kind of my overall feeling. Yeah,
well, it was interesting. George, like night and day, George went from being like, oh, guys, do you want to do this? What should we do? I'm with you. Like, oh, just tell me where to vote. This day and night into George, like 2.0, where he's suddenly dictating. He's like, yeah, I've decided that you shall fight each other and you two shall fight and vote for each other. And then that is the game. And it was the way that he talked to Luke, and he actually shut him down. It was wild when he said, no, you listen now, Luke. You listen now. Oh my, I'm like, oh God.
What I don't get is like, does he surely he knows these people well enough to know they will not take well to that. Especially this early, it's like, I don't think you understand the dynamics of the tribe necessarily that well. Yeah. To be playing in that kind of way, to be like, I'm rock solid over here. We're going to get them to turn on each other kind of thing.
I think it's the thing, and George does this quite a bit. So he does two things. One, he does ultimatums at like tribal council, which can really work when you just literally put to people like, hey, if you don't do this, then you are going home. And this is on you. Like, this is real. This is really happening. And the other thing that he does, he makes it almost a foregone conclusion by putting it out. So, like, this is what's happening. Everyone's on board. This is the decision. And it does make it a bit harder usually for people to go, you know what? No, we're not doing that plan. When you suddenly think, and the thing that's hurt him this time is that he really didn't have that person with him, that other voice. So
no, it seemed like he was very much out on a limb himself.
Yeah, all his other seasons, he's had that other person that has really been that getting information back to him. Because realistically, they starved him from information both these last two. Because if you think about it, he was the lone vote for Janine. He didn't know about the David stuff and what was really like where all of that was going. He was like, okay, well, I'm doing this. And then this one as well, he was totally off base with what was actually like. It was very close to Shonny, and he wasn't even voting Shonny. Like, no, he was voting Luke.
Yeah, which was, again, strange. So it's like, Yeah, he just felt completely on the outer of it, I think.
Yeah, I did like Shani has obviously learnt from George in their Heroes versus Villains season, and this is a Survivor rule that I live by. Always get someone to tribal council before you think it should happen. So or if you're going like, oh, I'm probably going to have to get rid of them soon, do it that one. Do it that tribal council. Because as soon as you've had that thought, they've had it as well. And 100%, the conversation that Shani and Liz had in Heroes vs. Villains about, we've got to get rid of George soon, is the same episode that George got rid of Shani.
Yeah, okay,
so
right.
That's the thing. And she's learnt that. And I feel like she's going, well, now is a good time because George, if we let him go any further, he's not expecting it this time. He's expecting to try and create a bit more order by getting rid of a Luke or Janine and then moving forward.
Do you think George, because we heard very loudly in the last episode that he was anyone but me and just, that was the important thing for him. And then he feels like he's abandoned that very quickly and trying to dictate terms to everyone. Do you think he didn't really understand where he was in a tribe or was just like, how we're talking about like changing your style of your game?
Yeah.
Like it seemed like that was a clever spot because he's like, there's all these big players here. I know I'm on a list here. Just going to try and get it off me. He seemed to abandon that, I think, too quickly without having strong allies around him.
Yeah, I think what hurt him as well was the David vote. Like he was the other. He got the 3 and David got the 3.
Yeah, that's true.
It's so often when you're a split like that, you are often the next person to go because they're like, okay, well we've already voted for you. It's happened. Yeah. It's out there in the world. If you're always getting that split vote, it becomes the thing of like, yep, let's just put them up again. Let's just vote them again. And that can be really hard. I just think George, this is the way that George likes to play. He likes to dictate. He likes to go, this is the ultimatum. And so it's this is happening or you're going home. And I think, usually people get scared.
I think as well, just with all these big names around, I just don't think he managed to lock in with anyone who wanted to play with him. Yeah. Because even David didn't. He thought, great, well, David's this huge target. Yeah. We're going to work together because we're both big targets. But it just didn't seem like he got a chance to get into anyone. One thing that I found really interesting that Kirby said during all this, I think when Sarah was pitching a few different things, and Luke was there as well, I think Kirby said, I don't think shields matter. Yeah. Which was interesting, but I don't necessarily agree because I think there's some big names that you want to get out. Like she knew that she wanted David out, so David would need a shield. You know what I mean? Like I think it's still completely relevant. I don't think it's like a completely level
shields
playing
are
field.
Always relevant. Shields are always relevant to get to a point in the game where someone is going to go like, oh, we got to get rid of David now. We got to get rid of this person now. And what's interesting is Sarah is basically like, I just feel really bad for her because she never gets her way, and she's trying really hard to. Okay, well, let's do this.
What did you make of her pitch to Kirby of like, oh, Janine's just come with this. I'm going to throw a vote on Shani. Do you want to throw a vote on Shani as well to show loyalty? What did you make of that?
So when Shani and like putting Shani out there and saying to Kirby, hey, we did it your way, and now and she was really honest. She just said, I just think Shani being here is not great for my game. I just don't. She thinks I'm not trustworthy. I think it's happening. I think you've got to tell. I think you've got to realize pretty quickly if Kirby's picking up what you're putting down. Yeah. And Kirby did the classic like just sort of, okay, if that's what you want. You want someone to. In the
actively
info world,
excited.
The yes and. You want them to be like, oh yeah, that's really good because this will do this and rah, rah, rah. If they're not giving you any of that, you've got to have your survivor alarms going saying, hang on, is this person really in on this or not?
In terms of where we're at the game at the moment, in terms of figuring out who these first few boots are going to be, particularly in this condensed game, question for Eden, how much should you be looking to merge? Because that came up a bit about who's going to jump over to the other side and work with the other side versus who am I really tight with? How important do you think that is?
Yeah, so basically they've talked about, it's so weird, third episode, they're like, merge is coming up, baby. Merge is coming up. And it is because it's such a short season, which is so funny. But you want to go into a merge with people that you can trust. You don't want to go in with a completely split deck. Yeah. And I think it is really dangerous to go in there with a loose cannon that is just like, oh, well, you nearly voted me off.
Like a George,
You nearly voted me off. You guys don't really care. I'm off. And you could tell George That's what he wanted. He wanted to get over there with Parv because he knows he's talked to these other international players. Like
George wants to play with everyone, right?
George wants to be everywhere, and so he would have been over there and he would have gone, Kirby's running the game. Let's get target Kirby. This is what we need to do. He would have been giving them information,
he had that quite interesting pitch. If we'll move into tribal council now, that quite interesting pitch about like I'm the person who goes over in a minority to emerge and emerges with a majority, which I thought was quite nice.
Yeah, and then Luke was like, "You're not the only person to do that." And just like, I didn't say I was the only person. Let's get into semantics.
That's fun TV.
I love it.
I did. George was very chatty at tribal. I don't think that really changed anything. I think the interesting thing here was Janine having this thought to go for Shani and how that played out.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that. So obviously, it's interesting. So Janine goes, "Okay, this is fine." Janine now knows in her head, because of the conversation with George, is, okay, she's copping a vote. So she feels, I'm copping a vote. If George then uses an idol, which he's been known to do, then Janine feels like going home. Now, I was in a very similar position in episode 2, the Jess vote out, where everyone was like, oh, it's easy. This is just Jess. Let's go for it. And no one had talked about idols or anything yet. And I just felt, you know what? I know that Jess is putting a vote on me because people have got back to me and said, yep, Jess is trying to throw your name out there. So I was like, okay, do I trust that she doesn't have an idol enough to go, yep, let's go all in? And I didn't. I always wanted a backup plan. I always wanted to go into a tribal council saying everything is ticked off. Any possible outcome, I could sort of know the results. And this one was, well, I just need to put 3 votes on someone else just in case. And so, me, Kitty and Caro put our 3 votes on Nath just to make sure that if Jess did any shenanigans, because I wasn't 100% sure that Jess hadn't gone over to Nathan and gone, hey, vote with me.
Well, I guess, and the difficulty as well is then you burn that person who you do the split on. So you got to be wary of that as well. Yeah, so I wonder how that's going to play out for Janine here, throwing those votes on Shani, if there's going to be a relationship there moving forward. Well,
you saw at the end that Shani was like, oh, except for those 2 Shani votes. Yeah. Where did that come from? And
how do you feel Luke's play in this moment of Janine being like, trust me, I'll owe you big time, just do this?
Yeah, so again, it now puts Janine and Luke in the same boat massively, especially in Shani's eyes. So if Luke just sticks to the plan and it all goes away, it's probably just Janine that gets the heat, that they're going like, why did you do it? But now the other thing is now Janine and Luke are locked in.
They already seen as a pair though.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter
because David's gone, so they're probably already seen as a pair. So it probably makes sense to be like, well, I'm building loyalty with Janine. Everyone thinks I'm with Janine anyway. I may as well just follow that through, right?
I wonder why Jean wanted the 2 votes, because did she not think that everyone was voting? Because then if she thinks there's 2 votes on her, then it's got to be, well, hang on a minute. Who's actually splitting the vote? Is it an actual proper split vote? Is anyone voting George? Like, it just seems if everyone was voting her, 2 votes wouldn't really matter. You know what I mean?
I guess she wanted the safety of people might change their mind at a revote, right? I think she just wants the comfort
maybe.
in that.
Yeah, maybe.
You just be worried of like, well, I don't know because it'd be between her and Shani, right?
Well, yeah.
So I think she's probably worried, well, if there's a revote, there's more actually on that side. They'd probably line up behind Shani. So I think she's probably worried about that.
Yeah, so so now I think Shani, Kirby, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens moving forward with that relationship, because it does seem a bit fractured. Like,
yeah, it doesn't seem super solid. Like I think the speed of this whole game and everything.
Yeah.
You don't have that chance to build that loyalty in the same way, I don't think. So it'll be interesting to see if we have these voting blocks or people swapping around and chopping and changing whatever. I get a bit of a sense we'll have solid pairs, and then there's some free agents that I think will move around quite freely, I think.
Yeah, so the other thing that's interesting is Kirby has this great ability to strike and then sort of lie low. And no one is pushing back on. No one is really coming to the table with, oh, well, Kirby pushed the David vote. Sarah didn't turn around and go like, I can't work with Kirby. She just railroaded me. What's some other options? Sarah didn't go to George and Luke and say, hey, what are we thinking here?
Yeah.
And so she has sort of pulled back. She's still got her way again, Kirby.
Well, I was going to say, and the other big takeaway, so obviously, George ends up getting 3 votes and going home. And we saw Kirby was one of those votes, which went against what we heard her say to Sarah, that was like, yeah, I'll do Shani.
Yeah.
So but despite that, in her when she was casting the vote, she said something along the lines of, this is to establish and build trust. which is against what she was talking about with Sarah. So I don't quite know what that meant.
Yeah, either do I.
Is that to be with Shonee then? Is that saying I'm building trust with Shonee by not voting against her?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's interesting.
Maybe that's just saying our little secret relationship here is more important than the one I've got with Sarah. So yeah, Sarah could be in a not a great position.
I think Sarah's in trouble.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens in the next episode, but I feel like after specifically requesting that to happen, you would be foolish to let someone talk their way out of that, I think.
Yeah, just a couple more things with Tribal Council. One is Kirby's really good at deflecting, especially at Tribal Council. She's like, I'm not that good. I'm just here watching everyone else. She's quite good at that. Everyone will eventually catch on. Like, people are like, yeah, we know she's actually really good. I liked how Janine actually fired up. Actually did something and got Luke on board and made a change because she felt it coming for her. I'm like, good on you, Janine. I like that. I like she started playing. I think that was really good. George, I'm sorry, buddy. You haven't coined the phrase big move-itis. George there's been in the lexicon for a long time. George was like, I call it big move-itis. And I'm like, George, no, it's been around, buddy. It's been around for a long time. Okay.
Dr. Gill has diagnosed this a long time ago.
yeah, big move-itis. Dr. Gill, shout out. Dr. Gill, shout out. If you want to play an idol, now is the time to do so. Don't look directly at the person that you're worried about playing the idol. I noticed Luke did it. I know there's editing. I know all that stuff. But it did seem in the moment that Luke was like, bang. And then if you've got an idol, you go, okay, I need to play it now because everyone's worried. Yeah. It's interesting. And then George's final words where he's just like, I brought this game to the world. This is because of me.
Yeah, still very much tooting his own horn right to
classic,
the end.
Classic George. Yeah. Classic George right there.
King to the end.
King to the end, mate. That's right. That's exactly right. So I think
Regicide tonight. That was on the menu.
I've got that in my back pocket for my voting confessional. I've been sitting on that for so long. It's going to be good when I get out there.
Given the amount of kings in Survivor generally, you've got a good chance to use it.
I've got a great chance to use it, which is fantastic. And I'm just a love thing. I love iconic pieces of clothing. I think Kirby's Aboriginal jumper is really popping this season. I think it's really good as well. I love a good iconic. Maybe in the chat, maybe put your favorite iconic piece of clothing in the chat.
Yeah. It is quite good because you get that nice theming of the we've had Nathan's jacket was a big feature of your season and stuff.
Do you know after the season, Ferris used some of his winnings to recreate the jacket and give it to
use some of his winnings
and gave it to Ray as the jacket. And so Ray's got a version.
Yeah, because you went to a watch party and it was there, wasn't it?
The jacket was there. Yeah. This new version. Caro's still got the other one, but this new version was there. The son of jacket.
Son of jacket.
But Josh, who do you reckon spun and grun?
It's got to be Kirby again for me, I think. I think she's in a pretty good spot getting what she wants. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I actually think... Yeah, I think Kirby's I think she did enough there. Although she didn't really drive it. I think Parv.
Could be Parvati, I was going to say.
Parv. Maybe we'll give one each. Maybe Kirby and Parv.
It feels like that the female alliance is sort of squared up a bit.
I think she's got this clue now. She's got everyone locked in. Everyone's working towards it. She's making eyes at Kirby at the challenges. I think there's something there. So we'll give one to Ev. And then on the flip side, Josh, who ruffled some feathers? Oh. Ruffled, rustled, either one is good.
I could maybe go a Janine for the tribal audible, for the dropping some votes onto Shonee at tribal, I think.
Yes.
With the classic, I know he's definitely got one, trust me.
Oh, yeah. He's too confident. It's great. Yes, Janine.
So I'm going to go Janine. What do you reckon?
I like Sarah, did she do enough to ruffle feathers? She probably didn't change enough of the outcome.
She was ruffled. She was rustled herself.
She was ruffled or rustled. Yes. I'm actually going to go George because I feel like the way that George was treating people, and I think he was ruffling some feathers. So yeah, let's go Janine and George.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Thank you, Tyson.
That'll about do us. And just a reminder, we do have our live show coming up on Monday. This coming Monday. Yes. What is it? The 25th.
25th. Okay. It's going to be a huge episode. It's going to be fun. We've got special guests. We're going to be doing Q&As with past Survivor players. We've got giveaways. I've got a buff to give away, Australia versus World buff. There's a lot happening. So please, if you're in Melbourne, come on down. It's going to be heaps of fun. And not only that, but subscribe. Please subscribe to YouTube for us. It does a lot. Leave a comment.
And the other biggest, we've had some great comments from people, so keep leaving those. We love to see it. But
I love a good comment.
Tell all your Survivor friends. If you've got some people who watch the show, just sling them a link to the show. But yeah, you can check, if you want tickets for the live show, that's all the details on our socials.
Yep.
Grab them there and we watch the episode and have a real good time. Also, because podcasting is such like a one-way activity, so any chance to meet the listeners is always really fun.
It's so fun.
Yeah, it's so great.
Fun.
So it'll be lovely to catch up with you all. Come say hi if you're at the live show.
Yep. See you next week.
See you, folks.
Bye.